Hello and welcome to another show. Tonight is Thursday, which means we are back here on YouTube having conversations with the men of Yonci Nation and me pretending like I wasn't just eating the most delicious salad of my life a second ago. I'm going to put it on the camera if I can. So my guy did blackened chicken. It's probably the best chicken I've ever had that's not made on a grill. It was done in a skillet. And it was pretty delicious. Those of you just joining in, comment your city and state so I know where you are watching from. Oh, Kaylee made it second. Good to see you, love. I am going to be doing a little countdown today. Some of my my panel members might be a little bit late, and I'm really glad that I was prepared because I have some juicy information for you guys. Make sure, like I said, you comment your city and state when you first come in so that I can say hello like I did with Kaylee. All right. So we're going to be doing, how many do I have? Let's see, 10, 16 things that may or may not surprise you. These are things that guys typically are not that comfortable telling their girlfriends or wives. And so we are going to get into some of these. It looks like Willie is going to be joining us in just a second. Looks like he's getting settled backstage. But I'm curious to know if these are guys or girls in the audience, because guys can let us know if they agree and the women can listen and get the tea. All right. So Kaylee is watching from Nashville, Tennessee. Let me go ahead and bring Willie on. Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, tradition.
What's up? How are you?
There we go. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm leading with curiosity today.
I feel like your setup is going to get more and more lavish. Like eventually, there's going to be like a bearskin rug behind you. There's going to be like
actually, no. So I bought a Vesta board, and I'm gonna put it behind me, and it's gonna scroll through sayings that I have, the stuff that weird shit that I say, and then I have some paintings that'll go back here. So when I move my camera back and I get the entire area, you'll be able to see the paintings, and I have the lights on the ground.
Out of control.
Trying to take it serious.
I love it. I love it. Excuse me.
The lights are hot.
These are hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because you've got the flames going behind you.
Yeah, that's matter of fact, I'm gonna go make it a snow globe. I'm gonna change it to coming in cold.
And then it'll be cool, icy right? Cold. So you can give some feedback on that. I know it's really hard for you to give your thoughts and opinions because you're such a shy guy, but you can just push yourself out of your comfort zone and give your hot take on these. I've got 16 often unspoken frustration, because some guys might express it, but we're going to talk about things that are men can get frustrated about and maybe may not say. And then we will get into our usual program. Tonight is also a playoff game. I think is it the big one tonight?
Yeah, the final starts tonight.
Oh, the final. See, I'm still learning all the time technology. Mm-hmm. So it's not the final game, but it's the
final series.
Final two teams playing off. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so who made it to the end?
Two of the smallest markets in the NBA, the Pacers and Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. All right. So here are the top things that guys gave as frustrations. The very first one is, I feel like nothing I do is ever enough. This means they feel like they are constantly criticized, corrected, or emotionally micromanaged, which makes him feel like a failure in the relationship, even when he is trying. For example, if I clean the kitchen, I'm asked, why didn't I mop? If I mop, it's, why did I vacuum? It's exhausting. Have you or anyone you know ever had a situation where they were saying that their chick made them feel like they were never doing enough?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of men have that experience, but I mean, it's not. It's not unusual. I mean, how most women are settling for the men. So when you settle for a man, that's you just like you don't like him.
Thanks.
Because if he was everything you wanted, you wouldn't do anything to turn him off, and if you sitting here nagging someone, like I think more men need to realize that a lot of us are only in relationships because a woman was willing to settle for us and make us as whatever utility we could serve for her makes it just worth it enough to be in a relationship. But I see a lot of guys in the group that are either not aware of that or refusing to accept that.
Ew. Yeah, I would say the interesting thing that I have, well, no, I was gonna say this one doesn't have the word nag in it, but when it comes to nagging, I have something to say about that. But I would say it's really important that I teach women in my course. It's really important that they really like a guy, and not only like him, respect him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't respect a guy, he's going to piss you off. And, especially if you feel like he's incompetent, because a lot of times we respect a guy who we think is competent. So if you feel like your guy is incompetent in a lot of ways, because I'll see people just really talking crap about their partner, and I'm like, why are you with him? But yeah, some guys really are going to piss you off. He seems like he can't do anything right. So before you get with somebody, decide, do I respect him? Is he somebody I look up to? Do I admire him? Do I feel like he's capable of getting the job done? Because nothing is worse feeling like you have a man baby. But if you got with him and knew he was a man baby, that's on you, sis. So there you go. Oh, this one's terrible. This is a video that went viral years ago that I made, talking about weaponizing vulnerability. So the second thing is, in the list of things that guys say are frustrating about their relationships, she wants emotional vulnerability from me, but then uses it against me. Woo, that happened one time in a relationship. I shared something that was like super duper raw. And in a fight, the guy brought it up and was like, and that's why blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, that's not okay. Especially if you say phrases like you're not a man or be a real man or something like that. That's a rough one.
The only women that are telling men to be real men are the ones that can't keep one and weren't raised by one. A woman who respects her father and had a father doesn't say stuff like that to other men.
How do you fix your mouth to say that?
Yeah, I mean, because women know most men won't. Unfortunately, like say for example, if a man said something like that to me, there's violence that can come behind that.
Right.
Most women walk through life thinking that there is no violence that comes behind their words, or even consequences for that matter.
Like
any type of consequences. Yeah, because most men won't even walk away. Aren't even man enough to walk away from a woman. So, but let alone to treat a woman the way that she acts. So a lot of women think they can say anything to a man because, oh, you're not gonna hit me. And I understand that's a boomer concept, but the millennials up tend to be more on the side like, hey, I treat you how you act. So, and if you get combative with me and do all that poking and shit stuff, your head can end up between the dryer, like the washer and dryer. But that's a terrible thing to say to a man, though. Anyway, but
I can't imagine because I've never heard a guy say it, ever. But I can't imagine how that would sound as a woman hearing a man say, a real woman would do this or act like a real woman. Like that would just.
They say it. They just say it to like transgender people.
I'm done.
That's the only time they say it to them.
I'm done.
We're not gonna say that to a woman. If you was a real woman, you cook and clean and shut up. Like that doesn't even make sense.
I can't. Yeah, it just sounds terrible. Kenny says, why are guys hanging around women who don't like them in the first place? Stop wasting the man's time. Dang.
The majority of men are. That's the thing. Like, so there's that mantra like, oh, it's 20% of men get all the women. Okay, cool. So if that's correct, but over 60%, almost 70% of men are reporting that they're in relationships. 70 minus 20 leaves 50%. That means 50% of those men are in relationships with people who settle for them and don't really like them. And when you settle for something, you don't respect it. If you wanted a Bentley, but you end up getting a Buick, you're probably not going to treat that Buick very as well as you would have treated that Bentley because it's not what you wanted. It's the same thing with women when it comes to men. And again, I'm trying to push men to understand, like, hey, you have to earn, you have to get inside the club because yeah, you might pull a girl outside the club, but if she's not seeing you inside, doing the sections and getting respect from your peers and
right,
seeing other women want you, she might pick you because you got a cute outfit on and then realize you were boring. That's all you can do. So just work harder, fellas.
yeah. All right, let's see. I was tempted if I wanted to put this on IG. No, I'm not going to. Okay, so we are put on the screen 16 unspoken frustrations men have. We are on number 3, and I actually had to work on this one. She always assumes the worst of me. Not just in relationships, just in life. I tend to think the worst. Like my brain goes to the worst case scenario. And so I have to practice and say, like, okay, the person probably didn't mean this, but I don't know why my brain goes to this really dark place. But if a woman assumes the worst of a guy, he feels like he is mistrusted, treated like he's guilty until proven innocent. He could feel like he's being interrogated. She's assuming that even when he hasn't done anything wrong. He said, for example, one guy said, if I don't text back fast enough, it becomes a whole story in her head, which is actually funny because I had a client who was in tears today because the guy was ripping her a new one because he was saying she was taking too long to respond. Like, so I stated on both sides, but child.
Response times, if response times are people get comfortable and that's like an unspoken expectation that we tend to have of people, even friends.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you saw me text you, nigga. Respond to what I said because I need an answer.
Right.
And then imagine if in a romantic sense it makes sense, but if a woman is assuming the worst, a lot of guys forget you do shit to make women feel that way. Like it's not it's I mean a lot of women are saying emotionally unregulated, so they'll just be negative all the time. But I would say just as many of men give a woman a reason to assume the worst because you've done some of the worst stuff to them. So or they just know that it's in you. Like, for example, if my woman saw that I was going to the strip club, she knows what I am capable of doing in a strip club and what I have done in the past. So if I say I'm going now, I wouldn't say I would be a fool to not understand why she wouldn't like it because she knows what I'm capable of.
Right.
Not that I've done anything since we've been together, but dude lies about something, gets caught looking, gets caught in a girl's DMs or getting likes or whatever. So now every time you pick up your phone, she assumes you're talking to a girl. I mean, yeah, it's some of her insecurities, but at the end of the day, you have fed that fire which is that insecurity in her. So it's up to you to put it out or leave.
That's crazy. That sounds something like accountability. I cannot stand when people create an environment and then complain about the environment. It's like it would be like you literally turning on an actual fireplace and then complaining about how hot it is. Like that's how to me it seems when people don't take accountability. So I did a post today. I just knew it was gonna go viral and it was like crickets. But this is what I said. I said free game for those who are always begging their romantic partner for peace. Some of you are really just asking your mate for silence while you constantly violate their boundaries, neglect their needs that they have repeatedly expressed, disrespect them, or make them feel unsafe emotionally. Peace is a natural response one has when their needs are being met and they feel safe. If you mess up, take accountability and see how quickly those talks you hate so much end. Asking for peace when you are the one creating chaos is like shoving someone who doesn't swim off the side of the boat and telling them to stop flailing.
You're just the wrong messenger for that. Like your audience can't co-sign that because it's just if you get it. But I agree with you. I've pissed off my fair share of people in my life, and never once have I been like, "Damn, I want a Dr Pepper now." What I was gonna say. I've never been like, damn, why are they mad at me? Like, what did I do? Because I know what I did to them.
Yeah.
So like, oh, why does he always every time he see me, it's a problem? Like, because I know what I get it. But same with women. I may have pissed off a woman or two, like 3 total in my day. But I know why each one of them would be upset with me, and I know what I did to, elicit that response from them.
Yeah.
I'm honest about it.
I feel like it's the scariest thing when somebody doesn't see the reality and then they become a victim and they're like, I just don't know why life is happening to me. By the way, hi Blondie, thank you for coming in and saying hello. As you guys can see on the screen, we are talking about 16 unspoken frustrations that men have. Oh gosh, this is I have something to say about this one. Number 4, she's not the same woman I fell for. Now, this is what the guys are saying in summary. They miss how she used to be. She was more playful, she was feminine, she was flirty or appreciative. Now, he feels like she's cold, controlling, or constantly stressed. She used to laugh with me and grab my hand. Now she's always on her phone or correcting me. When I hear this though, I see she's constantly stressed. She's cold and she's correcting me. My brain goes to, what the heck is he doing to stress her out? Because in the beginning, it's usually fun and light and playful because things are going smoothly. But a lot of women will say, for example, you know, when he was trying to pursue me, he was romantic, he was this, he was that. And that ignites that feminine side of her, you know, that playfulness and all this stuff. But if he ends up, you know, let's say he's not able to pay the bills or he's, you know, staying out really late and he's going out with his guy friends all the time. And why would she be playful still? Like, I truly believe that men set the tone in relationships. And if a guy is going to be a leader, he can't pick and choose when he's leading. And so I feel like your woman and her demeanor is a reflection of how you treat her. Somebody says something like you can literally see it on her face. If she's bright and glowing, you know, she's like glowy look on her face, you're doing a good job. But if she's just all sad and sunken in, something might be happening at home. So I don't know. I'm gonna push back a little on this one.
I mean, again, you just got to date somebody you like. It's in the day like that. That's all.
Yeah, your T-shirt. Just date somebody like.
Yeah, it's. Well, I tend to wear more offensive T-shirts, but I could make one. Like I might do that, but it's just that's all. Again, just date somebody you like because you, as someone who excels in dating some people that he likes, I've never had these. Excuse me. Wait, don't say never. I don't have these problems. And like again, taking accountability, a lot of the problems that I have had have been, you know, because of things that I've done or not done. But she's, you know, correcting you. Yeah, women do that to dudes they don't respect or like. They don't do it to men they respect. A man or woman respects a woman. You can tell that woman 5 + 5 is 2. And she's gonna be like, you know what, baby, you're right. She'd be like, well, maybe, you know, or she'll just be like, you know, cool. She won't push back and going about her business. But, you know, the argumentative ones who already mad because, damn, I'm only dating him because he'll take care. He's willing to accept me and these 3 other niggas' kids. Like at some point when that shit wears off, he is tired of her. I mean, she's tired of him, and so now he's just the in-house babysitter, so she can go outside, go upstairs, so she can go outside and do whatever it is she wants to do. It's the path that these guys are describing. I know where they are right now. That girl probably has 2 or 3 girls' nights a week.
She's doing brunch on the weekends.
She's doing brunch on a Wednesday.
All right, here's number 5. Unspoken frustrations men have. They may or may not feel comfortable sharing with their lady. Quote, everything turns into a deep talk. The guy feels emotionally cornered all the time. Even minor things become intense discussions. I just said I was tired, and somehow that became a 45-minute talk about our emotional connection. Okay, this is what I have to say about this. All right. We as women are so in tune with, like, what do they call it? Either microaggressions or nonverbal communication or all this stuff. So you guys might think, oh, I just said this. But we look at body language. We look at, did he roll his eyes? Did he click his tongue? Did he sigh? Did he, you know, do all this stuff? And that has meaning to us. And I also think that the happier she is, the less everything will turn into a deep talk. However, we as women like deep conversation. And so I always say this, if you invite men and women together, over time, the women will all migrate and we'll all just be talking and having deep conversation. The men will all be just like doing an activity and probably cracking on each other or whatever, but we just naturally like deep talks. So I would read into this and say she's probably not happy overall if she's always having these deep conversations, and they're trying to talk about, emotions and stuff. She's probably not feeling like her needs are being met. Because again, at the very beginning, when everything's all honky-dory, you're not having these long, deep conversations because you feel your love tank is so full. That's my 2 cents, and you can keep the change.
You're the leader of your house, champ. You steer conversations where they need to be, and if you can't tell your woman what type of like, hey, listen, your feelings are valid, your feelings are important, but they're also yours. So, that being said, I'm not willing to sit here. I just told you I was tired. It's super inconsiderate of you to try to force this conversation on me right now because you need to have whatever internal insecurity or emotional needs satisfied in this moment when I'm tired. And I'm going to take a nap and we can table this and discuss it later. But you can't have a lot of guys just don't talk to women like that. Like it's
and the woman stick around. Yeah.
I love you. Kiss her on the forehead once you're done, and you go lay down. Like I'll talk to you when I get up.
I will say this: what you just said is a very good medium, because a lot of times when a woman is wanting these conversations, at the end of the day, she's trying to connect. Because as I said, talk about the emotional connection. So in saying "I love you" and kiss you on the forehead, it's letting her know directly, like, we're still good. I still love you. This is just about the nap. And I think if more guys did that, they would get way less heat. Number 7 says, I feel like I'm constantly walking on eggshells. He's afraid to say the wrong thing or express his truth because she gets upset, cries, shuts down, or takes it personally. There's a quote, I just learned to keep things to myself because it's not worth the emotional blowback. I can't help women at all in this one, because I had some opinions on the other ones. This one, you should be able to control yourself. Even if he's in the wrong, even if he's actually in the wrong or messed up, the goal is to be able to keep your frame and not lose it. To me, it's like a woman who can't control herself emotionally is like a guy who can't control himself physically. If someone can push you off your square to where you're trying to fight, shoot somebody or whatever, and it's not by choice, you're not like, no, I'm choosing right now to do this. You just felt like you were pushed. That's unstable. So for a woman, and if she's just always bursting into tears, she's always shutting down and, she can't take it. My God. Got to work on that, sis.
I agree. Not if everything turns to an argument, if with me being what I feel is a pretty accomplished communicator, and everything turns to an argument, then I know that it's a comprehension or a defensive issue that I'm facing, and you got maybe 1 or 2 times until we're like, if I'm not in love with you, you got maybe 1 or 2 times before I'll tolerate that. But if it becomes a constant thing, no, I'll just go get a dog and talk to him. Like, I'm not finna sit here and talk to you, a human, and you act like you didn't understand it. Me telling you I don't like something makes you cry. Like, you're responsible for your emotions the same way I'm responsible for mine. And if I acted out or let my emotions control me, I'd either be in prison or on an FBI most wanted list. So if I can do it, you can too.
Okay. All right, this next one says, I don't feel respected as a man. He feels like she talks down to him, interrupts him. Oh, that's the worst. Or treats him like he's incompetent. One guy said she treats me like a child who can't be trusted with adult decisions. Ladies, you have to respect your dude, because that is just it. It's going to come out eventually if you don't respect somebody, and it's going to be so hard to stay respectful when you feel like the person is incompetent. But if you're already in the situation and you feel that way, you have to be super, super careful that you don't talk down to a guy, because that would be like him talking crazy to you. We would say that was emotionally abusive. And so I would almost go so far as to say that's emotionally abusive. Like, it's being disrespectful. Nobody should be treated less than. That's just not cool. Let's see the next one. Oh man. Okay, this one. Yeah, I can't help. See, I was trying to help the ladies and the ones I could help them on, but this one I can't either. Number 10, she needs too much from me emotionally. Somebody was saying that your guy should not be your therapist, an emotional regulator, your parent, your dad. He should not be all that. So it says he feels like she leans on him for every mood shift, every spiral, every affirmation, and he doesn't feel like he can ever be off duty. A lot of times, I think some women want to be in a relationship because they want, what do they call it? The service animals, like your emotional support human.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like your friend and your playmate and your lover. That's a lot. Nobody's trying to do therapy for you. And I heard somebody say this once. Couples should have their own therapist and then a joint one if you're doing like couples counseling. And at first I was like, why? And they were saying sometimes there's stuff that you just need to talk to with your therapist that, if it's a guy, your girl doesn't need to know about, and, things that the guy should not have to tackle. That's like your stuff, your trauma. You got to deal with it. That's not his job, his burden. What are your thoughts? You think there's some stuff you should privately work out?
No, I don't think there's anything you should work out privately is going to affect me, because if it's something that I have to deal with, struggle with you on, I should have some sort of equity in there based on who I am. So I'm not willing to. I don't think that I would even. I think that belief coming from the other side of my relationship would make my relationship no longer tenable.
Interesting. So this is what somebody said. They were saying that there are some things that a man doesn't want his woman to know. And I don't mean like infidelity stuff like that. It could be, let's say he's like, I'm feeling inferior, or I'm struggling with my job, because a guy really wants him. Most guys want the woman to see him in a certain light. Mm-hmm. And so he could stay on that pedestal in her mind and be kind of like a hero. And so if he shows too much humanness, they're worried about that volatility. So I felt like from that aspect, it made sense, for there to be separate therapists for certain things. So you could kind of stay in your frame with that person, but curious to hear your thoughts.
I do think that there are a lot of women who would rather see their man die on top of his horse instead of fall off. Like, so I understand that, but to me, that doesn't make us having separate therapists a reason why, because I'm not kind of, I don't want to say I'm heavy handed on man, but I am, but it's out of love. And I know that if you feeling inferior at the end of the day as a man, I'm not feeling bad for you because you're not feeling inferior. You know that you are. And your circumstances are always going to dictate that. Just no guy can pick a time where he felt inferior somewhere that he wasn't. So, like when I go play basketball, I feel pretty inferior. One, because I'm only 6 foot tall. Two, I'm also 250 pounds. So I want to play football or wrestle. Those types of things, where I can use my skill set adequately. But playing basketball, I'm the shortest person out there. Super inferior. That's why I don't want to get dunked on. I know that, so I stay away from it. But if you're feeling inferior in your relationship or your career, that's your fault. And because one, you've chosen the person that you feel inferior to. Guys should know that they're punching above their weight class. So if you did that, that's on you. And if you're in your career feeling inferior, then work harder and do better. I don't have any sympathy for men on that front.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Do not come to Blockchain Beeman for a shoulder to cry on. It's gonna kick you.
Not about that type of shit. You lost your mama, you lost your business, that type of stuff, cool. But this internal weak shit, no, I'm cool on that one. I don't have I'm not the guy for you.
I'll make it up, buttercup.
Yeah, you'll need a therapist and a priest if you come to me with that type of advice.
Okay, number 11. She makes me feel guilty for wanting alone time. Younger Yonci had to work on this.
It's annoying.
Women can take it personally because a lot of women are just wired with this filter of this is either a sign this person loves me or doesn't love me. There's no gray area. And as you grow and mature, you realize not everything is love or not love. Some things are not about you, which is shocking that something is not about us. But yes, definitely do not make a man feel guilty for wanting alone time. Now, it's one thing if this guy is abusing it and he's trying to go out every single night of the week, but yet you're supposed to be married or whatever. Okay, we're not talking about that. But if he's just saying, hey, I want to, like my guy, he likes to go fishing. Or if maybe guys like to play basketball because they're not going to get dunked on. I'm just kidding. But they want to go for an hour and play, play a pickup game or go to the gym or what have you. Or even he just wants to go in his man cave and play a video game unbothered. The woman should not take it as neglect or rejection. Now, this is a tip I would give for the men. If you are constantly making time for yourself, you are religiously carving out time for yourself. You better make sure you are religiously carving out time for her. Because again, a woman is going to be a lot more sensitive to you going and spending 6 hours on a golf course when, come the weekend, you're never taking her anywhere. On nights, you're not taking her out. So it is important to kind of offset that as well. It's so funny because this list, there's so many things on there that are in my course. I'm, shameless plug. I don't feel ashamed, but it's crazy. This is in there. So I have a final lesson that I leave the girls with, and it's on healthy relationships, what to do, not to do. And this is one on there. She's always comparing us to other couples. This is number 12 of 16 unspoken frustrations men have. Never, I say never, ever compare your man to another man. Don't compare you as a couple to another couple. It makes a guy feel like he can't measure up. And also, a lot of times, you're comparing your real life to somebody's highlight reel. So you're going off of maybe what they told you or what you're perceiving, with people typically behavior around other people, or what you see on social media. So don't bring up the fact that, oh, so-and-so's man brought flowers. Oh, that would be so nice. Don't do that. That's just not good.
I feel bad. I like being the guy that makes people do that.
You could aspire, just don't be on the receiving end.
No, I mean, if we go out with a group of people, like, I stand up, pull out chairs when you leave. I stand up from the table. And, if I'm the only guy that typically does those things in a group, the other women look at their dudes like,
you ain't.
Well, I mean, it's just because they won, but you can always tell because you can see them trying not to notice it or be like, but the look on their face, they're like, of course, now everybody got to go to the bathroom to see if their dude's going to do it.
And that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This was a trigger for me for sure. Number 13, she doesn't take accountability for anything. I can't stand this. I can't stand this in any person, male, female, child, adult. Oh my God, it pisses me off. He feels like he feels like his woman always flips it back on him when he brings up concerns or issues. Everything turns into why it's his fault. She can never say, you know what, you're right, or I'm sorry first. I don't know where that came from. The whole women are allergic to apologizing. I'm like a queen of apologizing. Monty will tell you I apologize faster than him.
Right. Well, so the average woman doesn't mature past age 14 emotionally. That alone is why they're not. That's just normal. If you get a woman, like, listen, the very first time that I heard a woman apologize to me for something she did, I was like, I think I love her, and we're not even in a relationship because it doesn't happen. I can show you, like, hey, here's a video of you doing this.
Yes.
If you had been home, I wouldn't have had to have done that. Like,
I recently had that happen where there was like, I wasn't actually a smoking gun, but it was a smoking gun. It was a proverbial smoking gun. And that's how you know someone is deluded to another level where you're like, this is a video evidence. And they're just looking at you. That's not me. Like, same shirt, still wearing it, right? Like, not me.
That video don't even have audio. How you know that's what? Oh, here's the audio. Right. Oh, well, that's not what I meant when I said that. Like, but, listen.
Oh my God, some of the veins just started like popping out in my neck.
Everybody has the person when they tell these stories they're thinking about. And it made me feel good when I saw that she's like that with her family and friends too. So It wasn't just me, but then it also made me lose respect for her father because you raised this. Like you set this out into the world, and like you've been in her life the entire time. This is why all men shouldn't be fathers. All men need a good father, but all of us aren't capable of being a good father because we're not adequate men. And
you're doing your child a disservice when you don't show them the ropes, because the world's gonna be cruel. Like, I hate we were like, oh, well, they're just a kid. Ain't nobody gonna care. You start building these habits now, and people are either not gonna want to be around them, or they're gonna treat them badly, or what have you. And so, oh, child, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it makes my ass itch. I hate it.
Number 14, yikes. These are 16 unspoken frustrations that men have. Number 14 says, I feel like a financial plan and not a person. This guy is worried she's more attracted to what he can provide more than who he is. Sometimes it feels like I'm her upgrade plan, not her partner. And I will add to this. I've heard guys say, I feel like I'm just a mark on her checklist. Like, you'll do. I have all the things I want in my life. I just need a man now, as opposed to, hey, I met a really amazing person, so now I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to settle down, so you will do. Definitely don't want to have that energy.
That's the majority of relationships, though. I'm ready to settle down, so you'll do. I would say that's the overwhelming majority of relationships right now. Because look at how many men, look at how many men are in relationships again, and just look at the statistics. 70 minus 20 is 50, so it's at least half. And it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm 42. I typically wouldn't date a guy that's 5'6", 270 pounds. But you make $150,000 a year, so at least I know I'll get a vacation a year out of you. It's like,
not a vacation out of you.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Well, apparently I can't count because there are only 15. Number 15, the last one. She doesn't take care of herself anymore. This is where the men notice a change in her hygiene, in her attitude, in her physical upkeep. But saying it would sound shallow or get him in trouble, which, remember, she's going to get hysterical. I'm supposed to act like I don't care, but I do.
No, changing your hygiene is a fireable offense.
I was like, whoa. He's like, I'm just going to stop showering. Yeah, I feel like it's one thing if you get sick, because everyone always goes that. What if you get sick or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But even with like childbirth and stuff, yes, it does change your body. However, I've seen people who, were physical trainers and you almost wouldn't even know that they had a baby. Not saying you should look like you didn't have a baby the second you have a baby. But, I had 2 kids and I was in great shape after both. I did not look like I had, had a kid. So can't necessarily say it was the child always that changes your body.
Your child is, if your kid is 16 and the other one is 25, and you can't be talking about you had 2 babies. You got 2 grown-ups, like 2 grown-ass men came out of your, like, so you've been that big since for 15. Like, if you just had a baby, I feel like a woman should get a 2-year grace period after having a baby, especially if she's not trying to go get on the table and get everything snatched back the way it's supposed to be. But ma'am, your child is 20.
Your child can't be driving a car and you still talking about baby fat.
Your child files taxes. Like, he can take his tax return and pay for your mommy makeover. Like, you can't use that as an excuse.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's wild.
So a lot of men will not say these things out loud because they don't want to be perceived as weak. They don't want to be perceived as mean. They don't want to seem like they are ungrateful. And oftentimes they've learned from past experiences, these conversations don't go well. And that if they're honest, it backfires. So we say, I just want honesty. And that's why they're like, no, you really don't. And of course, they don't want to lose the woman or trigger a reaction that will make things worse. So the closing thought is, just because your man is silent doesn't mean he's satisfied. Woo! Okay. We'll see what the good people thought of that list. Any chance you know whether or not Mont is going to be joining us this evening?
Yeah, he's in a meeting right now.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to him later.
All right. Well, we are going to get into our topics.
We made sure we saved some of our live show social battery from the other places that we are now in rotation on.
Oh, okay. Y'all just in the streets, huh?
Listen, I'll tell you what though.
Just for the podcast streets.
I'm gonna send you a clip of me. I triggered. It was bad. I just asked.
Was it the 14-minute rant that I saw?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't know how y'all. I have attention. I struggle with it. If I'm not.
No, that'll keep your attention because it's me, Mont, and somebody else involved in that started the rant, started her down that tirade. But
I'm just saying when they start talking, like I'm like I get like.
Yeah, it was. I was like, that clip is gonna do numbers, and I think it's already like at 70,000 views, and he posted it yesterday. Like this shit was funny.
That's wild.
Yeah, we make sure we save stuff for the original.
I appreciate that
for our primary platform.
I meant. Okay, so let's get into the first question of the night. Okay, I asked the guys, do you typically feel emotionally safe in your relationship? And I have the poll results. We're gonna do a little different today. We're gonna start with the poll results.
I'm about to sound crazy right now. I hate this question.
God, I'm just now seeing these answers. 55% said no. And I have a video, and then
I need a hoodie so I can cover my face.
Then we're gonna hear the
provide safety for you, but you cannot reciprocate it for me. I deserve to feel safe too. A number of black men internally, their internal world is not safe. And yet you want me to provide you with safety that I don't even know for myself. When I say to you that you've harmed me, you give me this rigmarole, that's not safe. When I tell you I'm tired, you get so wrapped up in your responses that you don't even give me the space to be fucking tired. That's not safe. I say to you that I don't feel connected to you. I say to you that you are not meeting my emotional needs. I say to you that I do not feel the way that you talk to me is uplifting, and you continue to do it. That's not safe. But yet you want me to continue to go out in this world and come back and do all of this stuff. You don't want me. You want your idea of me. And if I don't fit that idea, you begin rejecting me. That's not safe.
Thank you. It reminds me when the pastors are about to give the altar call and the pianist comes in all softly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've seen the poll results. You watch the video. What are your thoughts, Willie?
It's not safe to be weak with a woman. That's what I think isn't safe. Everything he said, he has the ability to tolerate it. If a woman does that to you, walk the fuck away. Like, I've never understood dudes who go on the internet and start complaining about women. First of all, that's a big ass dude. But then two, he's also low-key a feminist, so I understand why he sounds so soft. But if a woman is doing all of those things to you, you're tolerating it. That's what's not safe. Like, you crying and whining, like you've told her, like, damn, tell her once, cool, tell her twice, walk away. If these things are making you feel unsafe and you choose to stay there, bro, you are complicit. Shut up. Either shut up or do something. Like, there's no in between here. Oh, I can't tell you that I'm tired. Bro, take a nap. What if she don't let you leave? Like, there's nothing wrong with walking away from a woman who doesn't like you. I mean, I recommend it. Like, if I was a doctor, I would prescribe that to most men. There is absolutely nothing wrong with walking away from women that make you feel. And then Rose said, you're not meeting my emotional needs. I hate how so many things that women have made normal to say to men, or men are also now saying back to women. And that's probably one of the most egregious ones to me. I've never I don't want to be mean about it, but I just don't think that I respect men who are that soft, because you can't afford to be that soft in the world. Yes, your woman should be like your safe space. Like, and when we mean safe, not like emotional safety. Like, damn, I can come home with my woman, relax, and be cool. I get all of that. But the rest of that whining and crying shit he talking about, you deserve it, because women won't treat you like that unless you let them.
ChatGPT is notorious for being like, so you gonna leave or no?
Those are the only, because ChatGPT has a huge logic engine in it, right? It gives you logical advice about any situation you can. It has a doctorate, billions of doctorates in logic. Logically speaking, if something does not serve you, you should no longer participate in it. So ChatGPT sponsors more breakups than I do. Anytime I've asked ChatGPT a question, it's like, no, you shouldn't do that. And here's why. You respect yourself. You loved yourself. You're accomplished. Like, it'll tell you all of these things. So if he asks
ChatGPT, so you gonna leave or not?
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is gonna call him a B word and tell him to get some nuts about himself. Like, that's crazy to me. That you would like, men. I understand women not because we're aggressive. A lot of us. I'm saying we may not be emotional, but sometimes we are significantly less emotionally intelligent about how to pick up on our women's cues. Like, I'm super guilty of that. And one of the things that I get is why women can have those conversations about men. Hearing men have it about women is almost like the next thing we're going to start doing is comparing like our menstruals, like our full menstrual cycles. It's crazy to me. Like
a menstrual cycle.
Yeah, there you go. Menstruation.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we're gonna get into this video. Oh my god, the women were they were going off in these comments. All right, so let me play this one here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I have on the screen.
I don't know what you want me to say. I told you I'm sorry already. I'm not going to say it again. I have a lot going on right now. What do you want from me? You're seriously upset? Okay. You're just being sensitive. There you go, being dramatic. I can't even say anything. Okay, well, I'm sorry you took it that way. That's not how I meant it. I don't know why you're mad at me. This is your fault. Yes, it is. You made me act this way. Yeah, okay. Okay, sure. I guess I'm just the worst boyfriend in the world then.
Oh, I hate
You know how many girls would be happy to be in your shoes right now? You're so ungrateful. Okay, well, if you can't accept me for who I am, then just go. Yeah, just go. No, it's fine. I guess if that's what she told you, then that's the truth. No, it's fine. Just believe whatever you want. Believe whatever you want. Well, I guess so. Just looks like I'll never be good enough for you anyway, so what does it matter?
It's the gaslighting for me. So my question for the guys was, is this how you apologize? What were you going to say?
None of that sounded like things that men say to me. None of it.
Oh, I've heard plenty of those. So I've heard the one where it says, oh, I guess I'm just the worst person in the world. Like, I hate when people do that. When a person gives a very specific thing, like I'm trying to give an example.
You're not emotionally intelligent. Oh, I guess I'm just the worst boyfriend in the world. Any criticism, I get it.
You know, it's like playing off that podcast thing where if I was like, obviously I'm not being serious, but if I were like, Willie, it really bothers me that you went on that show and I felt like you were cheating on me in my show. And you were just like, oh, I'm the worst friend ever then. Like, you're not seriously saying that. You don't literally think that you're the worst friend ever. You're just saying that. So
for a reaction.
Yeah. So that people be like, no, you're not. Like, I hate people take it and say, I'm just trash as a whole when you've been very specific saying, I just don't like this one behavior. That line triggers me so bad, Willie.
It's a really easy manipulation tactic because now you shift from addressing an issue with him to defending his assertion he made about you. That's what it does. So it takes the attention off of how you feel, and to now you having to defend what you said as how he shouldn't take it as, right? But again, as a guy, I haven't seen these things from.
Well, yeah, you're not dating guys.
Yeah, so it's like I haven't, I'm not a. And when I hear the stories, or like when I see it in like real time, it's women who are doing it. But I can't argue and say that I am noticing that here lately, men are getting a lot more. We're having a lot more in common with women in the way that we conduct ourselves in conversations or discourse.
This is the poll results. No, ma'am, this is not how I do it. So they said no one is guilty. None of them act like this. We'll just take them at their word for that. I have PTSD. So this guy I dated, he would like, I have my two things. Don't raise your voice at me and don't cut me off. And so like in a normal conversation, people can cut me off. But if you're angry and doing it, it sends me. So he would cut me off and do things. And so then I would start to get agitated, and then he would start gaslighting, and then I would get so frustrated, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're so emotional." And I'd be like, "Negro, I'm emotional because you're setting me." And so my thing was, okay, if I'm gonna be in this situation, I don't want someone else to have the ability to like manipulate me. That's why I was saying about being on your square. And so it's like, if you're gonna be there, don't let somebody take you off your square. But if you can't handle that situation, or you don't want to handle that situation, then just leave altogether. Because to me, it's just too stressful to have conversations that way. It physically drains me. It makes my heart race in the worst way. It's like all this adrenaline starts going. Even after the thing ends, my body is just fatigued. I'm stressed out. And it's like, you and I have this conversation. There's nothing like having a conversation with someone who isn't defensive and takes accountability. Because then you just be like, I didn't like that. Cool, done. And then if you have an issue with me, I didn't like that. Cool, done. And you move the hell on. And it's like, oh. So, anywho, I just got a little triggered again. Should probably move to the next one. Okay, I found this really interesting because it was based off, I don't want to blast the content creator, so I didn't put her on here, but it was based off of something she was teaching women. And so the premise was, let me go here. Oh, the AC is so cold this week. If a woman does something really sweet for you, do you think A, she's amazing, B, she must think I'm really amazing, and then of course, I don't know if you remember, I had to go back and make another one and say C, because people were like, where's both? So the premise from the other person said, women have a guy do something sweet and go, oh, he's amazing. But she was saying men say, oh, that means she thinks I'm amazing. So I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to vote for yourself. And this is what the guys said. And what would you pick? What would your answer be?
I would say it's D. She wants to have my babies. It's not often that women spend money on men. So, doing something sweet, or just women that are considerate towards a guy.
Baking a cheesecake, or yeah.
So every time I get a cheesecake, I it's just like a remind me tax of, where I am in life and how blessed I am.
So 48% said they think, wow, she's really amazing. 16% says she must think I'm really amazing. And 36% say, I think both things. So interesting. They voted opposite of what the content creator was saying. No shame to you, content creator. You know who you are. Somebody said that thought would cross my mind. What's her angle? That's what I'm thinking. Someone said, ew, I think we need to get to survey these prompts and get new ones. Ew, you could suggest some yourself, sir, whoever you are. Your name is redacted now.
A dude that said ew is probably like the lone woman you have on the page that snuck through.
Oh, I said ew when I read it. Yeah, he would have had to been booted if he said ew. Because I was gonna read it and I was like, ew, he's critiquing me. How rude. Okay, this one was just a silly question. Are women? Is this? Oh yeah. Are women nicer when they've got some? All right, so here is the video that goes with this.
The female has a similar effect on a woman's brain as doing hard drugs, like the level of oxytocin it releases, which I fully believe that, because the way my wife treats me is directly correlated to how recently she's gotten off. In bed immediately after, she's like, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. What you do for this family is unreplicatable. We approach 3 days without her coming. I leave a kitchen cabinet open, and she's like, I'll fucking raise this kid on my own. You contribute nothing. And I'm just like, God damn, this withdrawn. I gotta hit her with the methadone.
He said over a kitchen cabinet, I'm gonna raise this kid alone. So we wanted to know if there's any truth or at least if y'all think there is any truth to that. So let's see what the guy said on the poll. Are women nicer when they've got some? And they said 87% said yes. 13 said, I don't see the correlation. And I feel like that's a perfect opening for a joke. And I'm going to see if you're going to take that.
I'm not fixing to sit and argue with a bunch of virgins because that's the only way they would know that that's the biblical truth.
Well, I was going to say the perfect joke, it just writes itself, is she might not be happier after hooking up with
Yeah.
She might be more angry.
Listen, I just gave them benefit of the doubt, just said they're virgins. I wasn't going to say that they weren't doing anything right, but
they weren't doing it and doing it and doing it well.
That's just some of these questions that when you ask, like the answer is so obvious that the people who get it wrong, it tells you a lot about them. Like I feel like the 13%, they always those guys, women probably has like a rose toy that's like up under the bed charged, and as soon as he goes to work, they are zapping themselves.
Maybe she doesn't even wait till he goes to work. Maybe he's laying next to her and she
because she probably already settled for him anyway. That's the only reason why she's there. So
yeah, my god.
He walks in the door and she's and she don't even cut it off. Like dinner's on the table. Oh man.
Dinner on the table is wild.
Close my door. Yeah.
Close my door is crazy.
Tell me, once a woman lose respect for a man, she turns into a child, so everything becomes hers. Like you tell your kid, like, "Hey, close my door on the way out." Like same thing. Hey, close my door.
Oh my god! Close it.
You can hear it through the door because that's loud.
I can't.
On 7.5. That sound like it's like a bunch of bees in the room.
Where's the gravy? On a counter. Oh my goodness.
Which plate is mine? It don't matter. They're the same.
Give Johnny the bigger piece. He said 1,000% yes. I want to speak free for every demographic of men, so excuse the delivery. He said, but after we hit, their attention goes up. Their speed to respond.
Their text like response time shortens.
Thank you. A little grammatical thing. Their kindness, their ability to compromise, all that and more goes way up. But after seeing it go all the way up, now I feel like, oh, okay, you can respond in a timely manner. Oh, you can compromise. Oh, you can blink. Then I'm turned off. That's funny. Sadly, yes, for the first 2 to 3 months, but like anything, they get acclimated to good boot knocking. They will not cherish it and become mean again if that's their natural disposition. These are funny. Yes, my first girlfriend will be cheesing from ear to ear, wearing my shirts, and even skipped classes unbeknownst to me just to be around me.
She need to reprioritize her life. That's wild.
This guy said what I said. If she's not, then your wee game trash. So that they're usually nicer when they've gotten some because they're usually asleep. Oh my God. When she's in a deficit or when she's not satisfied, her attitude stinks. That is hilarious. That's me with just my love tank, period. Like if I don't feel loved, it doesn't have to be physical. Just if I'm feeling emotionally needy, my fuse is a lot shorter. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. And number 5, feels like it's been so much longer than an hour. Because we're carrying the whole team here. Okay, number 5. Is this true of high maintenance women? Let's go ahead and watch the video.
In their 30s.
I'm gonna take my time.
He says, so I dip. You know what this made me think about? That video of the guy who was like, if you're all dolled up and you got your designer clothes on, the guys who can't handle you will eliminate themselves. I don't know why he sounded like an old black preacher when he was a white guy, but that's what came to mind. So what are your thoughts? I kind of know based on that conversation, but yeah.
I'm guilty. I make women high maintenance, so I can't complain. It's my fault sometimes, and it's. But for me, I just set the bar high.
I was
So
gonna
like
say
after, like I feel bad for someone who tries to date like my son's mother. Like after me, like it's
all bad.
she's gonna end up settling for somebody she don't like that can pay bills
Mm.
at this point. So I can't. One thing I will say is that a high maintenance woman that wears her real hair, I understand the cost then because maintaining real hair is expensive and it's not easy, and the humidity stays like kicking y'all ass. So I give a pass for that because I would much rather her be high maintenance and take care of her natural hair than being high maintenance and taking care of like a high maintenance hair helmet.
Yeah.
Because they go by it's a lot. And then those wigs are like $1,500, $2,000.
Woo.
And then you got a closet full of like hair mannequins hanging down over your clothes and shit. And then they're different colors. So now there's a different color hair in your car because she forgot she had the blonde wig on when y'all went to dinner Thursday, and she's like, "I'm telling you,
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
it happens." And then I have to go in the closet and snatch the hair helmet down and be like, "See, this is you." Like red, orange, all these colors. Ain't nobody been in the car but you. So
it's all you, boo.
I'm so glad that I'm no longer in the phase of having to deal with that, and all like that's all of the hairs originating from her scalp. So that's a
congrats.
Yeah, I'll pay for it.
Cool. Oh my gosh, too funny. Well, we covered all our topics and we did a bonus at the beginning. That is insane. Sorry, I gotta tell you later what Monte said. Sorry. Oh, so the other day it was funny. I was doing a coaching call. Hold on, I can't type and talk.
Yeah, you mean you type what you're saying.
Oh my god, right. So I'm on this coaching call and I never like have my phone out, but I had it propped up. And so the text, they'll like come at the top if you have your settings. And so when we first got together, Monte was like, your seasoning, you could like increase the level of seasoning. He teased me that it was my other half, right? That I wasn't seasoning that much. So we're wrapping the call. It's a little bit informal because it's the pre-call before the coaching session where I get to know her or whatever. So we were wrapping up, but all of a sudden he had just started eating some chicken I made, and I just see his text pop up, and he said, "You seasoned the F out of this chicken," and I don't know why. I just started laughing so hard I was like choking. So I had to just tell her what, because he be making me laugh. So I'm like, I gotta remember not to have the text anywhere. It struck me as so funny that day. You seasoned out of this chicken. I was like, well, all right.
Monte's funny as shit, so I understand.
He is hilarious. We were talking about, oh my God, did you see my story today about the snitch?
No, I haven't. My social media has been limited today.
Oh, look, I'm not mad. I get on mine and get right back off. So we're on a date last night. And so we're out chilling. I thought minding our business. And so we're eating. And I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, this black hand comes across my, little zone right here with the camera. And I'm like, what the? This man took a photo of my food and sent it in a group text to our trainer. I was like, I couldn't even type. Like I was misspelling words because I was so mad. I was like, snitches get stitches. And oh my God. So I posted in my story, like what happened, what he said in there. And we communicate, obviously, through GIFs. And so GIF people, not gifts.
Yeah.
It's GIFs. I was so mad. So then the trainer's like, Yonci, we'll talk tomorrow because we have to get up at 5. What would have been the next day, which is today.
Mm-hmm.
So we drive down there. We got his kid with us, and we get there, and so he's like, so the kid's out of the room. He walks in, and he catches the tail end of it, and he goes, "Oh, you guys talking about the ice cream?" And they both went, "Ice cream." I was like, all y'all, I hate all of you. I had snuck ice cream to the kid. And I was like, you snitching accidentally. They the burger. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was pissed. So that's why Kenny came in on the comments earlier talking about who dropped a dime on y'all for not eating properly. That was my own man. I said, it'd be your own people.
You got caught slipping.
Dang. I was crazy.
Oh man.
Thank you, Kenny, for he said 0 likes. That's wild. I think that's a record, having no likes.
No, I think it's up now.
Oh, okay. You guys have an opportunity to smash that like button. Now that I'm letting you know. And I forgot I have this tool. So I always be messing with YouTube trying to see how many likes there are. And I completely forgot that I have a special thing that lets me see it in real time. So all this extra stuff I didn't even have to do. That's crazy. YouTube Studio, thank you for coming through. All right, so it looks like we have 4 likes right now. And so thank you for those of you who clicked that like button. Anything you want to share before we go? I might have to reschedule next year and make sure I'm not streaming on a basketball day.
Yeah, the playoffs is this bad. And then you got Thursday night football too coming up.
It's starting back up?
It starts like the end of August.
You're saying just the day of the week. I was saying, I think it's back already. I got scared.
No.
Yeah, I might have to rethink my day of the week and figure this thing out. So
nobody cares about Tuesdays and Wednesdays except for Mormons.
And that's when I do my coaching. So I started leaving Tuesday open because we do our spades thing sometimes. And so I switched to Wednesday, but I might have to just do a Thursday. I mean, I might have to do it too. Oh yeah, because if I did switch the Tuesday for the Thursday, the girls don't care about Thursdays. So you might be onto something.
Let's see.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Appreciate you.
Thursdays, they probably just want to go to happy hour or something.
I feel that. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to sign off and go finish watching the game. Are you going to catch any of it?
Absolutely not. I'm about to go walk my dog.
That was not a metaphor, y'all.
He's been sitting here patiently, so I'm going to take him outside, let him go terrorize the other animals in our neighborhood.
Oh, well, he's been a good boy. He hasn't been loud. All right, sir. Well, thank you for holding it down. You always have my back. I appreciate it. And everyone out there watching, thank you for watching. Please hit that like, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Be safe.
Good night.